Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the comparison challenge. I just wrapped up doing the live for this on Instagram and then deleted the video. So I am recording it again so I can send it to you. Yesterday, the homework we did, it looks like this. It looked like today's homework, but it said identifying our wounds, and it was pretty much the same as today's homework. But yesterday we identified our triggers to comparison, criticism, and competition. But today we're going to talk about the good that we can harvest from those. We're going to seek the good. So our wounds almost always point to a problem we have with our own sense of self-worth. They can also be a compass to our contribution. If we can identify our wounds, figure out how to heal from them, we can bring that knowledge to somebody else who struggles with the same thing, which is a huge gift. So don't be afraid to identify, name, and own your wounds and then heal from them. Seek the good in them. Don't just identify them. It's not enough to identify them. You have to seek the good. One example of how this has immediate, practical, positive consequences when it comes to comparison. Okay. Imagine a situation. This gal, Brittany, you know, every time she shows up to any social event, she's always trying to one-up you. And maybe she is legitimately better than you. And it either triggers you to spiral into your own self-criticism and comparison, or it's just annoying. And you're like, oh my gosh, make her go away, right? Okay, the next time Brittany pulls that, this is what I want you to think. What is her wound such that she always feels the need to one-up everybody? Did she grow up in a home where no matter what she did, it was never enough? Is she single and she feels like nobody appreciates these things? And so from her wound, she's like constantly bringing them up. Or is she married and feels like she's underappreciated by her husband? Maybe is she actually underappreciated by her husband? I want you to consider this the next time Brittany pulls this, because it's going to really shift your perspective, and you're going to be able to step back and peacefully consider her where she is and love her where she is, and maybe even act in such a way as to invite her to let down her guard and heal. Okay? If you remember nothing else from this challenge, this is it was the most helpful for me. So, but you cannot see your own worth or value if you can't see the worth and value in other women. Okay? If you can see the worth in another woman, for some reason psychologically, you are going to be better able to see your own value. Okay? Let me say that again. You cannot see your own worth if you don't see the worth in other women. If you can see the good in other women, you can give yourself permission to see your own value. Okay? I can hear all the buts now. You're like, oh, but Emily, I'm really good at seeing the good in other women. I am really good at seeing how they're good at everything. For example, I'm like, wow, her outfit looks great today. I even told her her outfit looks great today. But then I got a glimpse of myself in the window, and I'm like, am I homeless? Right? You're like, what? How am I? So then you just end up beating up on yourself. You're not able to celebrate your own contribution, right? Maybe you don't even want to celebrate your own contribution. You just don't want to feel bad about it, right? Or on the other hand, you have a different temptation when you see a well-dressed woman. You're like, yeah, well, that's great. But you know what? Women at large are mediocre, and that's the reason civilization is on fire right now. And by the way, I still feel bad about my own self. Okay. I want to bring awareness to this, but I want you to give yourself some grace. It is probably a bad habit you picked up somewhere along the way, and you just haven't found what you need to help you rewire this bad habit and turn it into a virtue. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. I want you to consider today's homework. Seek the good. I already showed you. This is what you're going to do. Every time you feel that compulsion to criticize yourself or criticize the other woman, I want you to remember, you are not making it about them. You're making it about you, okay? It's not about you. You don't have to make it about you, okay? So when you feel that compulsion to criticize yourself, you're going to replace it with something better, okay? What are you going to replace it with? We're going to go over that right now. We're going to do the exercise together on screen while the camera is rolling to just make sure you get it done, okay? Women who look better. A woman who looks better walks in the room and you feel bad about yourself. What are you going to replace that with? I wonder what her approach is to nutrition, to fitness. What's her skincare routine? How does she present so well? Okay. Number 2, women who have perfect relationships. Okay, first of all, there's no perfect relationship, but how does she communicate? What is she doing in her communication that enables her to have such a fulfilling relationship, such a functional relationship? Has she learned what are they? The word is escaping me. Conflict management. What conflict management skills does she have to prevent things from always blowing up? Okay. Number 3, women who are confident. What skill is she learning or has she learned that allows her to be so confident? How can I start practicing that? Okay. Number 4, women who are smart. How is Mary so smart? What kind of routine could I cultivate that would allow me the time to study so that I can absorb information and present it so well? What is she presenting on something that she's super passionate about, and that's why she's so good at it? What am I passionate about? What can I offer to people? Right? Okay. Number 5, women who have money. This is a touchy one, right? Women who have money. Money's evil, and I really honestly kind of want more of it myself. And so instead of that, you're going to say, I wonder what I could do with that much money. What would I do? How would I contribute? What could I do to make more money? What value could I add that people would pay me for to make more money? What limiting beliefs do I have about money? Do I believe that being poor is a virtue? Is being poor a virtue? Okay. All right. Next one. Women who are successful. Okay. Well, first of all, what's your definition of success? Be careful of who you let tell you what success is. But what is she doing to get there? What can I learn from her? Thank heaven somebody knows how to be successful. What can I learn from her? Right. Okay. Number 7, women with nice homes. What makes her nice home? Her home nice. Let's talk about organization and cleaning. What organizational systems does she have in place? How does she keep her house so clutter free? Right. That's awesome. I asked her, and she's walking through her house with a trash bag or a box once a month. And then taking it to the thrift store. They do 1 month where they don't buy anything. Okay, awesome. Now I know what I can do. Does she have a chore schedule that she executes every day so it keeps the house from just getting to the point where you feel like the only solution is burning it down, right? Okay. Number 8, women who are popular. Wow, she's really popular, but I wonder, why is she so popular? What is it that makes her that likable? Do I want to be that popular? Are there pros and cons to being popular, right? Women who are liked. What does she do that makes her so likable? How can I cultivate that? How can I learn how to be that likable? What would I do if I was that likable? How could I better serve people if I was that likable? Women who have it all. Their lives are perfect. Once again, this is, it's just nobody's life is perfect, right? But you're tempted to think that. So I wonder what her wounds are and how she manages them so well that she presents herself so perfectly. How can I learn from that? Okay, next one. Women who are kind. This kind of goes back a little bit to women who are liked, but kind women. What is her tonality? What makes her so kind? What makes people so willing to receive her? Okay, what is her body language? How does she react to social difficulties? This has such a high return on your investment if you study how women you admire react in difficult social situations. You can learn this. Even if you are hot-tempered or naturally meek and mild and disinclined to put yourself out there, you can learn from this, from women who are modeling it, and you can apply it to your own life. Game changer, okay? Next one, women who are talented and athletic. Wow, thank heavens that somebody here has that talent. I can learn that from her. Maybe my kids can learn it from her. What talents can I give back? What am I good at? What am I predisposed to? What gifts has God given me? Women who are put together. What's her routine for getting herself together? Every time I see her, she's put together. What is her routine? What is her minimum routine she does to ensure that she shows up looking good, feeling good, and ready to serve people? I should ask her. Women with perfect families. Again, this perfect is an illusion, but clearly there's something about this family that you admire. They're very functional, they're holy, they're put together, whatever. How do their kids behave? What are their boundaries for their kids? What are their family routines? What is the family culture over there? What wounds did they have to overcome to build that family culture? That is a fascinating conversation if you are close enough to the people to ask them about that. Women who have it easy. Oh, her life is easy, they're rich, she's married to Captain America, she has a nanny, whatever. Again, what are her wounds? How has she overcome those wounds? Nobody's life is without suffering, right? There is something you can learn from them. Finally, women who are eloquent. How did she learn how to be eloquent? This kind of goes along a little bit with confidence. How does she present so well? Is it something she's passionate about? Is it something she studied? Did she have a job that taught her that? Nobody's just born eloquent, okay? You can learn it. She learned it. You can learn it. I should ask her, how did she learn how to be so eloquent? Okay, that's that exercise. I love that exercise. So you're going to replace your habit that you picked up along the way of comparing and criticizing yourself or just criticizing other people with this. I want you to write down your personal triggers. It's not a matter of if they happen, it's a matter of when they happen. You know they're going to happen. Write them down and write your new replacement script. We're going to build those new neural pathways to replace that bad habit, okay? All right. Next step. So the next part of the homework is it's so exciting. I think it's super fun. The next time you see a woman and you might be prone to a jealous thought, you're going to replace that thought with this script, okay? Pick the trigger, identify the script, say it to yourself, give it to Jesus, go back and do it over and over again, okay? The next thing you're going to do, you're going to write down 3 to 4 women of whom you are jealous, okay? Maybe there's a little admiration mixed in there, but the one qualifying thing is you have to be jealous of them on some level, even if it's like a good jealousy, like it's a friend you really admire and you're like, why can I not cultivate that? Okay, you're going to write it down, all 3 or 4 of them. If you want to do more, you can do more. Then, this is the fun part. You are going to write a letter to one of those women. You're not going to give it to her, but you are going to write a full-blown letter. I would suggest you pick the one who really sends you the most, who triggers you the most. You're like, I want part of her life, maybe in my own particular style, but that's the girl. That's the girl. You're going to write this letter. You're going to express your frustration to her. You're going to tell her what she has that you want, the thing that makes you jealous. Then you're going to tell her what you're going to do with it, okay? Tell her what you would do if you had what she has. And then you are going to thank her for being the messenger who brought awareness to this wound, okay? And you're going to write a couple sentences about how you are now going to help others because you've identified that wound and you've found the good. Okay? You're going to write this letter, and then you're going to burn it, and you're going to give it back to Jesus. Okay? That's what you're going to do. If you want to message me and tell me how great it was afterwards, I'm here for it. Okay? All right. And my final encouragement for you is a lot of this has been wired into us by what the culture is telling us. Maybe your family was a part of that, maybe they weren't, but we're all being bombarded by the culture. I know this is sort of cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't let anybody don't let the culture, not anybody, because some people you want to listen to, don't let the world tell you who you are, or what you want, okay? They can't even figure out what a woman is, okay? Let alone know what you were put here to do. You need to decide today that you're going to resist that, all right? Learn the skills and the mindset for self-worth. Celebrate other women. Live a life of virtue. Okay, we don't necessarily need to spend all of our time, certainly not our interior time, comparing and criticizing people. Okay, sometimes it is necessary to make these criticisms and comparisons, but you need to be honest with yourself about why you're doing this. And even when you do come across a woman who is maybe legitimately unvirtuous, or she is using her talents for something shallow, nefarious, whatever, you can still step out in gratitude and be like, you know, I'm really grateful for her. I was able to learn this, but also this is not really what we want to do with it. But I was able to learn that lesson through her instead of going through the pain of learning it myself. And we can do this in a way that isn't catty, right? All right, well, that's it. I want you to come back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about designing your self-image. This is also more fun and excitement, honestly. But I do really like today. But I want you to know that I am praying for you as you go through this little challenge. God will not be outdone in generosity. Do the work, give it back to God, and go out there and help others from your wounds.